Good evening. My previous speaker has been talking about how data can make important things for the trade, right? I'm going to talk about how data can make interesting things for the factories. And in order to see that my Greek accent is better than him, I'm going to start speaking Greek, right? So, καλησπέρα σας. Αρχικά, θα ήθελα να ευχαριστήσω την Οργανωτική Επιτροπή για την πρόσκληση και όλους εσάς για την προσπάση σας να καταλάβετε τα αγγλικά μου. Okay, anyway, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm going to introduce my company, small company, but very interesting for the Greek market. You'll see. We are a world company, a consulting company with a long family history in the industry. We born in 2005, and our principal mission is to fill an important gap we have seen in the table olive industry. That is the application of new technologies to the industry of table olive for improving the competitiveness and the quality of our customer product. We are located in Seville. Seville is, as you know, a strategical area because it's the first table olive production region in the world. Okay? Global Olive as a company has a Spanish client that annually produces more than 60,000 tons of table olive, equivalent to the 12% of the Spanish production. But also, we are advising actually companies in the rest of the production countries like Argentina, Peru, Chile, and here in Greece. And also we have experience in other producer countries like Turkey, Egypt, and Morocco. This is in summary the service we are supplying. Industrial processing control for all the kind of table olive style. We optimize the production of the companies. We improve environmental modification. We develop research and development projects, and we are making also training course for new person, for the staff of the company, etc. These are the people. I remember them at the end of each month, okay? And this is what I'm going to talk about. For the introduction, let's talk about something. The subjectivity of the standard of the Codex Stan 66. As maybe you know, this is the place where you can find the standard for the table olive trade market, right? Okay, when you are reading, you are trying to understand what is telling, you find things like this. Okay, green olive are olive harvested during the ripening period prior to coloring. What is coloring? When this happens, it's not very clear in every producing countries. Olive turning color. Harvested when turning color before the state of complete ripeness is attained. What is complete ripeness? Difficult. Black olive, harvested when fully ripe or slightly before full ripeness is reached. What means slightly? Okay? Another subjectivity, quality criterion. Look, what is a soft olive? Is there anybody that can tell me this olive is soft? This olive is fibrous? I don't think so, but the standards say olives which are excessively or abnormally fibrous. I mean, are you manufacturers, right? So can you discuss with your supplier about this olive is soft or not? I don't think so. At the end, always depend on the price, right? Another subjective criterion, abnormal color. The color of which is distinctly different from the characteristic color of a trait type. What means distinctly different? What is the characteristic color of my production? It's not easy to tell. Well, so in all the processing of table olive, we have subjectivity from the ripeness index, that is, when must I start the harvesting? I don't know. Well, I will start, as always, from the past we are doing, the first day of October. Why? Because it always has been the first day of October. But why? I don't know. Why? Another subjectivity. The treatment with soda for green, table olive, black Californian style. How intensity has been my treatment? How the soda treatment affect to the later on fermentation? Why my olive are, for example, getting softer? Subjectivity. Another data. What has been my time of processing? You are manufacturers. Have you ever think about, can I rely on the register may handle it for my stuff? I must, but sometimes when you have a problem, it's difficult to find the origin of the problem. Another subjectivity, fermentation and canning. Sometimes you can say, okay, the color of the olives is ready for the marker, or must I wait? How many times? The color of my olive is better or not comparing with last year, or maybe with another competitor, or maybe in between different suppliers. Talking about the black Californian style. The color of the flesh is better. This is real the color that the customer is asking me. What happened with this indicator after or before the pasteurization? Can you measure it? Talking about the aerobic fermentation of Kalamata olive. The air I'm supplying to the tank is making the color be better, or I'm losing time and money? What happened with the color in Kalamata after pasteurization? It's getting better, it's getting darker, it's more clear. For example, the supplying of air is affecting the texture of my olive. Really, it's difficult to know. And finally, when you are processing black California style, black olive, can you really prove that this color is better than the last week or than yesterday color olive? By the moment, everything is subjective, depending on the experience and on the eye of the technicians, right? Well, what news about this? First news you can take from our system is something like this. You can measure the right moment of harvesting by measuring the ripeness index, just only with texture meter. That's all. It gives you information about when the olives will arrive to the proper moment for being harvested. And not only this, during the fermentation, these lots are more hard or less than another block of tanks or supplier. Other important thing for the production of green Spanish-style olive, the temperature. Have you ever measured the temperature of the olive before the processing? Have you ever measured the temperature of the liquid that they are using for the processing? If you do it, you will know that the temperature of the olive affects directly to the speed of the soda treatment, and also that the temperature of the liquid affects also to the same processing. Okay, what news we are introducing you? This platform called TELEOLIVA, it consists of different devices connected to a single thing, like I know all of you have in this moment in your pocket. A mobile phone, right? Okay. Examples. If you install sensor inside the tank of the processing, you can have this profile about, for example, the soda treatment. What is this used for? Simple. You have a real traceability of what is happening in every single tank. When I put olive, when I put soda, when I wash how many times, when I put brine, right? All this information for someone interested is published 5 years ago in a very famous paper that related all the temperature data with the processing of table olive, right? So, now, the traditional way of doing things make you lose quality. And all of you know that losing quality means losing money, right? So, the shame is here. And what is the shame? Something so easy and to understand that I will show you in a video, okay? Look, the system we are introducing can, in an objective way, measure several parameters of the total processing. It consists only on a device connected to several devices and with an app installed in your personal mobile. Thanks, for example, to this device, you can measure the ripeness index of green table olive, black Kalamata style olive directly from the tree. And using the app, you can codify, you can say this is a block, this is a sample from this supplier, from that supplier, and automatically this information you are getting from your mobile is uploaded to the internet, to your personal platform, okay? And you measure, you have the back of the result in very few seconds, having all the information stored in your mobile. The other thing very useful is for green Spanish style cooking process or for California style black olive is the treatment with soda. Until now, all the treatment depend on the experience of the technician. Now, just taking a picture with your mobile, codifying the time number, the hour of the starting the processing, and the hour of the sample, you can have the real soda treatment your sample has. Later I will show you what this is used for. And finally, for the sample, you can make something similar by using the same system to monitorize the color during the fermentation, during the pasteurization, previous, later, of green table olive, black Kalamata olive, and how the color is changing, and for example, when the olives are ready to be shortening, calibrating, I mean, when the fermentation is over, for example. The same thing. You can, with your personal mobile, you have installed the app, you codify the sample, and in less than 5 seconds, you have the result. But it is important to have the information in your mobile, but this information at the same time is stored in a personal website platform. In this platform that you can have access free from internet, you will have all the information of every single device you have connected to your personal platform. There you will have information of all the processing for making this, to know where is the optimal moment for cooking, what is the optimal moment for calibrating the sample. And joined to this, we can find more and more devices that you actually have at your factories. And the video is over. I don't know how to change. To come back to the, okay. Look, and why this information is useful. Example. For registering the soda treatment in green olive or in black table olive, California style. This is the standard for getting an optimal fermented product. This is the rate of soda treatment with one variety and with another variety that you have set previously. In Californian style, you can know what is the color after the first oxidation process, what is the color of the olive after the second oxidation process, and you have registered it in order to set your standard and to modify, if it's necessary, the process. Also, you can measure the external color just using your mobile. And also, you can measure the external color using color meters. Expensive, but that you can use it in collaboration with your mobile. Finally, also you can measure the texture, and not necessarily the texture of a whole olive. You can measure the texture of a pitted olive with a simple Kramer cell, and you can monitor, okay, what is my standard? What is the texture of my final product? Is this lot of production softer or not than the other? This olive, as a whole olive, are hard enough to be oxidized, for example, or I will use it as a whole olive and I will sell to another customer. Okay? And talking about during the processing of Kalamata black olive, this is an example of how these simple devices can help you to optimize the processing. This is Kalamata from Peru. As you've seen that in Peru, there is a lot of Kalamata that is going to be sold to Australia market. The world is a small world. Anyway, this is what happened in the last 3 years. This is the texture of the fruit during the harvesting, fresh olive, and this is the texture of the fruit after fermentation. This company, thanks to using this kind of technology, had improved the final texture of the fermented olive, because they realized that, okay, our standard of texture must be higher than 16 Newton in the harvesting. Otherwise, we are going to have a lot of losses after pitting olive, because the great quantity of them are going to be destroyed during the pitting process, right? And so, in the same term, this technology can be used for measure the ripeness index in black Kalamata olive, not only the external color, but also the internal penetration of the black ripening inside the flesh. Why this is useful? For this. If you have all this information, you can contrast this information between different indicators, and you can say, okay, this sample, this block, this was a block of field, the 10 hectares of Kalamata in a farm, without treatment with kaolin. Kaolin is a product for increase the texture of Kalamata on the trees. And they say, okay, fresh olive have 19, the treatment with kaolin was 21. So the treatment with kaolin, it works, okay? The color are quite similar, and the rate of penetration is quite similar. So I agree with the treatment. I will pay this product for all the farm, okay? And also, you can see that if the olive is more ripe, the texture is lower, the color will be more black, but the internal penetration of the ripeness will be higher. So now you have a standard. You can say, okay, as a fresh, I will be harvesting until now, okay? And for finish, this is another way for measuring the color during the fermentation of black Kalamata olive. If you take sample from the tank, you will realize this, that from the beginning, as you know, the black Kalamata color starts to be clear, more clear than when you harvest. But during the fermentation, if you supply air, the supplying of air makes this olive to be more dark, okay? And what's next? As I had limited time, this is a point of view of what now we are working in. We are not only connecting sensor of the processing for cooking green table olive or black Californian style or Kalamata olive. We want to introduce in the same platform data from temperature sensor, pH sensor, data from the farm, data from machine, from pitting, slicing machine, data from the fermentation, in order to have a big traceability of all the processing at your factories. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Technology in the service of olives, table olives. Our next speaker is Dr. J.Ruiz. He is going to present us a